You're supposed to be angry, you fucking idiot. You're not supposed to be excited. You're not supposed to be elated that 2 National Guardsmen were shot in the fucking head. This straight up shows you what the priority is. This straight up shows you that for them, it's more so like, oh, I'm going to craft an incredibly... And I'm waiting for the updates on the White House shooter, okay? And then I'm going to get into dispatch. You are a bitch. Just fucking wait. God damn, dude. Hold your fucking horses. Yeah, also, this doesn't mean anything, okay? Daniel Biss calls for U.S. to recognize Palestine. Boo fucking who? Okay? This is just like... This is like the safety... The ultimate safety position for a Democrat. It's not even the bare minimum. Or you're going to get banned if you play an episode of Dispatch. I will get banned. But guess what? That will give me more time to play Dispatch on my own then. I can't believe that. Yeah, I know the shooter has been identified. I know. That's what I'm waiting for the fucking CNN news report to come out. Fuck me. Holy shit. In response to questions from Evanston Now about her support of AIPAC in his email, a spokesperson for Fine's campaign deflected, writing other candidates can fight over labels. I was on the metro 2 stops away from where the DC shooting was when it happened. Damn. Hasan about to be clocking in offline hours like his no pixel RP over again. Yeah. Getting banned for streaming a game on Twitch? Sure. Well, 2 stops seem pretty safe. He's literally a Zionist. Everyone stop yelling. This is a family. They're hitting me. Okay. I know. I understand that with Daniel Biz. That's probably why the Congressional Progressive call pick. Because they're fucking annoying. And they do shit like that. But yeah, 4 senior U.S. law enforcement officials briefed on the investigation tell NBC News the suspect they've identified is Amanullah Lakanwal, Afghan national, date of birth. What the fuck? Date of birth 2/9/1996. Last address was Washington State. Yeah, we're about to hear some crazy Islamophobia, bro.
More National Guard presence in Washington, D.C. You heard Pete Hegseth saying this is to ensure that the city stays beautiful and safe. And I spoke to a number of Bowser's administration officials as well as various D.C. law enforcement who said that they were expecting this to happen. They expected that President Trump would use this basically as the next step in bringing more National Guard to Washington, D.C. So something to keep in mind there. But I can tell you, Jim, I mean, the White House is watching this incredibly closely. They are not only just watching the logistics of what happened, trying to figure out who the suspect was, but they're looking at motive. Was their motive directly politically related to what happened? We know that having the National Guard in D.C. and in various other large cities has become somewhat of a political flashpoint. In addition to that, was there any reasoning or was it part of the motive to have this shooting occur so close to the White House? Of course, President Trump is not there, and President Trump is well protected. But was this some kind of symbolism? And you're really seeing what the White House's concerns are and what they're doing reflected in this whole of administration response. They have been very careful and brought in really the top guns on all of this to try and make sure.
I wonder if he's too young to be an interpreter.
Because they are all very
or related to an interpreter. If he's an Afghan national.
Thanks so much.
I could see him.
Congressman Robert Garcia of California. He's the ranking member on the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, thanks.
I mean, he's like 30, 29.
Sure thing. Thank you.
Could be the case.
Let me ask you your reaction to seeing a shooting tonight. 2 guardsmen in critical condition shot in the nation's capital on the eve of Thanksgiving.
Obviously, it's horrifying just to see the images, but also just having obviously known and knowing a lot of guardsmen in the National Guard, not just in D.C., but here back home, the incredible service to our country and to community should always be at the forefront when we're thinking about the work that they do. And at the same time, you have 2 of them now in critical condition right before the holidays, so it's horrific. I'm glad that we're making progress in this case and to understand actually what happened here. I imagine in the days ahead, there will be a lot of information coming out of law enforcement and the FBI, and certainly Congress will be fully briefed as to
Look at that. Terror suspect Rahmanullah Lakanwal came to the U.S. in 2021 during the withdrawal from Afghanistan as a part of Operation Allies Welcome per law enforcement sources, which means, first of all, this is interesting because it continue without supporting us. Why would I ever support you, New York Post? That photo might have been correct, by the way. The naked dude. But yeah, this they're gonna fucking say Joe Biden let in all these Afghan refugees into the country. Another instance of like Islamic style terrorism. Why would you not support them? The New York Post? Why the fuck would I support the New York Post, dude? Do you know how many fucking articles they've written about just me alone? Yeah, it's totally not terrorism law. What? First of all, we don't know what the actual reason is yet, okay? I do like that you immediately went, oh, he's Afghan, so obviously it's terrorism. If he was a white guy, I feel like you would have a very different opinion. I'm not even discounting the fact that it could be an act of domestic terror, okay? But you're very certain. I'm glad that, it's not a white guy for you, so you could actually look at this and be like, maybe it is domestic terror. That was quick. Yeah, the tweet I read says terrorist suspect. He seems a bit young to have worked for the former Afghan administration over the U.S. I bet he was probably a family member of someone who was. Yeah. I'm trying to map out a motive. And if I see relatively young Afghan national who came to the United States of America with the withdrawal, and I suspect there's probably animosity there. Where could that animosity stem from? Most likely family members that were left behind, that were translators, that might have gotten like fucking killed by the Taliban or something. You know what I mean? Like collaborators with the American occupation that were not allowed to return. And then, that could be like I'm making shit up right now. This is all suspicion, wee woo, speculation alert. But that is what I could foresee this happening, because this is a consistent line of resentment and anger with a lot of people of this sort of background, right? He's 29 years old. He was 25 when he came to the United States in 2021. And he might be a little too young to have worked with the forces. America betrayed a lot of people in Afghanistan who helped America. Exactly. Yeah, this isn't about the suspect, but the threat of deportation could be a motive. He supported the U.S. war in Afghanistan. Now he may be deported to the Taliban. He escaped Afghanistan and started a family in the U.S. Then ICE arrested him. If he's deported, he expects the Taliban to kill him. Yeah. Like, there are many stories such as this one. There are many people who got refugee status, or at least like was told that they would have protection in the United States of America, and literally did work and collaborate with the American invasion. So
seen a difference in Washington, D.C.
Wait,
Crime
sorry.
is down.
Hold on, Chairman. Hold on. We just got this. I need to get to it.
oh my God, they're so happy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're nutting. Bet money, Hasan, open hands. That toot good, Hasan. The spicy noodle hitting with the toot. Bet money, Hasan, open hands is women. That toot? What's the toot? Dude, I swear to God, so many of these fucking schizos are genuinely projecting, I think. Like they just like fantasize about that spicy noodle hitting the toot. What does that mean? He thinks you're a cokehead? They're on drugs before Thanksgiving? No, they're fucking they're disgusting. They literally are like, "Oh, I bet he actually abuses women. I bet he beats women, dude. I bet he open hands his women." I assume he means like slapping, right? I don't know why he's talking like he's from the 30s. Yeah, I bet he's like fucking beating the shit out of his dog Kaya. It's like, dude, you need to understand something, okay? That makes you weird. You're a weird guy for thinking like this. You're a weird guy for saying this. You're an even weirder guy for just like writing it in the chat. It's so strange, man. Why are you fucking fantasizing about me potentially being like a abuser of women? The fuck is wrong with you? Hasan, why do you always fall for rage bait? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, if you find yourself bought a 9 from a DC crackhead, I'm just saying, if you find yourself fucking fantasizing about me potentially doing like horrible things, that means you couldn't find anything that I'm doing that is causing this level of animosity. So maybe you should reconsider. Touch grass, you fucking loser. And yes, as we were talking about, the shooter is a legal migrant on Biden visa. Oh my God, they're nutting. The moment that they find out, look at the moment that they found out The background of the shooter. Look at
We've
this.
seen a difference in Washington, D.C. Crime is down
Hold on,
significantly.
Chairman, hold on. We just got this. I need to get to it. This just in, sources are telling Fox News that the shooter is an illegal immigrant from Afghanistan who came in during Operation Allies, welcome under the Biden administration. And he overstayed that visa. All right, Chairman. So Fox News is learning that this person was here illegally, overstayed his visa, and that's who this shooter profile is. What's your immediate reaction?
Well,
that is crazy, bro. He's not even fucking hiding it. He's not even hiding it. He's like they're all cracking a smile. And the other guy is so giddy, he's laughing. Bro, you're supposed to be angry, you fucking idiot. You're not supposed to be excited. You're not supposed to be elated that 2 National Guardsmen were shot in the fucking head. This straight up shows you what the priority is. This straight up shows you that for them, it's more so like, oh, I'm going to craft an incredibly... Imagine thinking you're special because your mom shat you on one side of an imaginary line rather than another. Basically, nationalism. I agree. They're literally fucking excited that 2 National Guardsmen were shot in the fucking head because now they can craft more anti-immigrant propaganda. They're fucking giddy, dude. Like, you can see it. You see it in the attitude change.
My immediate reaction is we tried desperately to get an accounting of all the people that came from Afghanistan to the United States during that disastrous withdrawal during the Biden administration. That was a huge priority for the House Oversight Committee. We never got that information. We were never allowed to get that information because I don't think the government had any idea. I don't think they kept an accurate accounting. And if they did, I think they realized there were probably lots of gaps. We were told there were going to be about 2,000 people that had worked with our military as people that tried to help with the cause, to help protect our troops in Afghanistan.
Right.
But then at the end of the day, there were closer to 100,000. But we don't know what that number was, and I don't think the government has Congress.
Why do I have to give up my credit card number to sign up for Chad Vice? What are you talking about? No, you don't. What the fuck are you saying? Are you getting fucking scammed, dude? Is someone phishing you right now? I clicked the link and it wants me to give it to prove I'm human. It's the link pinned in your chat. What? What are you saying? He is lying. Oh my God, it does. I just unpinned it. Let me investigate. I think it might be a bit.ly thing. Wait, what? Do not under any circumstance fucking do that. It's a bit.ly ad. Are you being trolled or something? bit.ly makes you wait a couple seconds. The ad might be sus. They're trolling. I didn't get that. Stop scamming your viewers. Dude, come on. Come on, man. Come on. Send me a screenshot, chatters. Because this is where it goes if you click on it. Yeah, bit.ly/chatvice screening takes you directly to the fucking, to the link. I think maybe you don't have ad block on, so bit.ly is just like pumping scam ads on you. Hater clicked on an ad. Don't let them fool you. I don't think that person was a hater. It asked me for CC2. No. If it is asking you, if the link that you're clicking on, if it's asking you for a fucking credit card information, then you're getting served an ad, like a scam ad. Do not give your fucking credit card information to anybody on the internet. What the fuck? No, the actual link is a Google Doc submission form, but they're using Bitly. It looks like this. It's an ad on mobile. Is your Active Directory secure? Here's how to optimize protection and streamline recovery. What? Yeah, you're probably getting a fucking Bitly. Don't use Bitly if they do that shit. That's crazy. I did not know. I did not know that Bitly does this. I didn't even set up the Bitly link. Okay, I'm gonna be honest though. Guys. If you got duped by a fucking Bitly ad that's asking for your credit card information, like, you're not cut out for the big 225. Okay? Like, that's like that. What are we talking about? What are we fucking talking about, man? Never give your goddamn credit card information at any point on the internet. Classic abuser behavior. It's the victim's fault, huh? Yeah, kind of. At this stage, if you are competent enough to be able to navigate Twitch, but you are oblivious to the ways in which people try to fucking scam you with a literal phishing ad, then yeah, this is like some real let's put you to bed, grandpa moment. Like, this is straight up one of the most basic parts of operating on the internet. It's also kind of funny because, like, you know, this is something that boomers used to fall for, but I guess Gen Z is also weirdly falling for it. It's like the one group that was spared seemingly might be the one group that might have been spared seemingly is the fucking millennials. Did you mean big 2025 or am I a boomer? Yes, I said 225. I meant 2025. Anyway, yeah, these guys are super horny for this thing.
So two senior law enforcement sources tell NBC News that the FBI is now looking at the very distinct possibility this was an act of terrorism. The suspect, an Afghan national. This was a targeted attack, a horrific attack, with the aftermath caught on camera. Terror in the heart of Washington, D.C., just 2 blocks from the White House.
This is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen.
Video captured them.
It is pretty crazy that they were so quick with it, straight up. They were like, oh, he's Afghan, terrorism.
Moments, police and National Guard troops subdued a suspect while a few feet away performing CPR on someone who's down.
Oh no, they had that shit ready to go. Oh yeah. I mean, don't make me play it again. They got so giddy. They got so giddy at the prospect. They were like, oh, we fucking got one. Finally, it's not a white dude. Yeah. Thanksgiving convos just ramped up. Chatters are fucking cooked. Can you play it again? I wasn't watching. Yeah, no. As I said earlier in the day, depending on what the background and what the profile of the shooter is, they are going to move on quickly. Earlier in the day, they didn't know who the shooter was. So before they found out the shooter's background, they were saying it's the 6 Democrats that said the military has a duty not to follow unlawful orders. They are the ones who are responsible for this. And now that they found that the suspect's profile is that he's an Afghan national that came into the country under Joseph Robinette Brandon, they openly here, I'm just going to run the video again. Look.
We've seen a difference in Washington, D.C. Crime is down significantly. Chairman.
Look at how he's smiling when he got the new info. This is literally in real time. Okay, you can see it happening.
Chairman, hold on. This just in. Sources are telling Fox News that the shooter is an illegal immigrant from Afghanistan who came in during Operation Allies. Welcome.
This guy at least, middle guy at least does the, oh, I can't believe it, before cracking a smile. Look, I'm gonna show you every single person's face individually. First, look at how delighted he is. He already is incredibly excited to deliver the news.
I need to get to it.
He stops everybody, goes, I gotta tell you this. All right.
Just in, sources are telling Fox News that the shooter is an illegal immigrant from Afghanistan.
So he goes, oh, I can't believe it. Then watch the second guy. Watch the second guy's face after he goes.
Who came in during Operation Allies. Welcome under Joe.
He can't even hold his fucking smile. The main host is excited, okay? He's literally smiling.
Under the Biden administration. And he overstayed that visa. All right, Chairman. So Fox News is learning that this person was here illegally, overstayed his visa, and that's who this shooter profile is. What's your immediate reaction?
Well, my immediate reaction is we tried desperately to get an accounting of all the people that came from Afghanistan to the United States during that disastrous withdrawal during the Biden administration. That was a huge priority for the House Oversight Committee. We never got that information. We were never allowed to get that information because I don't think the government had any idea. I don't think they kept an accurate accounting. And if they did, I think they realized there were probably lots of gaps. We were told there were going to be about 2,000 people that had worked with our military as people that tried to help with the cause, to help protect our troops in Afghanistan.
Right.
But then at the end of the day, there were closer to 100,000. But we don't know what that number was, and I don't think the government has kept good track of it, and I'm sure there were mistakes that were made.
And we found the guy's social media yet? That's the real question. Do we know what his social media is? It's hard because there's a cricket player with the same name, really? Are we going to see levels of Islamophobia not seen since the Cuomo campaign last month? I don't think so. We'll see.
He immigrated.
Here it is. What do you know?
Well, this individual appears to be from Washington State. It appears that he immigrated here into the United States in 2021 as part of the operation to bring Afghanis who had worked with or assisted the United States government over into this country as Afghanistan was beginning to fall.
The Special Immigrant Visa Program, SIV program.
Right, exactly. This was the Allies Welcome Program. He applied for asylum under that program and was granted that asylum in April of this year, although he's been here, it appears, since 2021. So that sets this in a place where the FBI is going to be looking at what was.
Wait, why the fuck are they saying he was here illegally then? I don't understand. MAGA gets more honest about their intentions every day. That's it. I want a king.
Was the vetting that was done prior to his arrival here, when he settled in Washington? What has been his activities here in the United States? What brought him to Washington? How long has he been there? But it's going to give them a better direction at this point as they try to get from who is this individual, which they believe they've established, to what is his motive. Now, a number of motives could come up there. One could be that he was disenchanted in the United States. Another could be that he was angry at the U.S. military or felt betrayed and came upon people in uniform when he traveled to Washington. Or it could be something altogether different.
In other words,
let's wildly speculate. I mean, I did also speculate on it, and I said similar things in terms of like finding a motive. They're obscuring it, but this means the military is familiar enough with him to be an informant for them, so to be granted asylum. So what radicalized him? Was he a hardcore jihadist or a blue-haired Maoist third worldist? Fox News won't be able to settle on one. No, I think it's the more common one is that I could see guys like this having a lot of gripe, PTSD, having a lot of anger and resentment towards the military in general, for like, or the administration in general as well, for in a lot of circumstances, like not helping some of their friends or some of their family members that they promised they would help. Like it happens. There have been other instances of this happening as well. I wonder, are you sure he's a SIV or just an Afghan that came over there in the airlift? SIV indicates service to the U.S. government, but a lot of randoms get evac during that time who weren't SIVs. If his status expired in September 25th, it sounds like he's a random, not a SIV. Could be wrong, though. Yeah, CNN says the National Guard shooting suspect applied for asylum in 2024, and it was granted earlier this year, so he's not even a visa overstayer. Crazed gunman who shot 2 National Guard troops in a possible terror attack near the White House has been identified as 29-year-old Afghan national who came to the U.S. during the chaotic 2021 Afghanistan withdrawal. Law enforcement sources told the Post. Rahmanullah Lakanwal was allegedly lying in wait before he rounded the corner near the Farragut West Metro Station, Northwest D.C. around 2:15 p.m., then opened fire, striking a female guard in the chest before shooting her in the head. According to law enforcement sources, Lockenwall, who entered the country under Operation Allies Welcome and resettled in Bellingham, Washington, then allegedly fired and struck at the second guard until a third guard stationed nearby rushed to the area, took him down. The 2 armed soldiers who were patrolling the siege were taken to a nearby hospital in critical condition. The suspect, who was reportedly shot 4 times, was hauled away nearly naked in an ambulance and acted alone. So I guess that chatter That random fucking weirdo who posted that photo was correct. Police have not revealed a motive for the attack. Law enforcement source says the FBI is initially treating the shooting as a potential act of terrorism. Why was he naked though? I guess they took his clothes off or something. I don't know. Like, I feel like if he shot the people naked, you would have seen it, right? They probably stripped him of his clothes, searched him for a bomb or something. Or gunshot wounds. Treating his gunshot wounds. Most likely the second thing. Because they say he got shot 4 times. It's time to arm the National Guard. Wait, what? It's time to arm the National Guard? They're the National Guard. What do you mean, arm the National Guard? They are armed, you fucking idiot. What? Is that a joke? I'm confused. They patrol DC without arms? I've quite literally seen motherfuckers with guns in DC. Like, maybe some of them don't have weapons, but I'm pretty sure they have arms, dude. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Also, we know that at least one of the guys definitely had a gun because they shot the suspect 4 times. Unless you think the suspect literally shot 2 National Guard troops in the head and then turned around and took the same gun and started fucking firing on himself. Low-ranking National Guard soldiers don't carry guns around. In DC, they use blades only. Wait, what? They use blades only? That's crazy. Trump is going to go fucking scorched earth on illegals now. They all have to go. A king doesn't sound so bad. Blade? What do you mean blade only? Like, he's just running around with a katana? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, let's hear what else they're fucking saying.
Exactly what they're focused
About
on.
the
Because
details.
clearly, he approached no one else and fired these guardsmen who obviously are wearing uniforms. So was this something that was motivated to attack U.S. soldiers? Again, the fact that he immigrated here from Afghanistan, that is also part of this investigation. FBI's counterterrorism teams are pouring through all of their resources to see what they can learn more about this person's history, where he came from, anything that he presented when he entered this country. All of that is being worked on right now. But no, at this point, John, they do not know exactly what the motive is. But obviously, the fact that the circumstances are sort of blinking red if you're a counterterrorism investigator at the FBI right now.
We'll let you get back to your sources. Evan Perez, thank you so much for giving us the latest. With us now, CNN Chief Law Enforcement and Intelligence Analyst John Miller, CNN Law Enforcement Analyst Jonathan Wackrow, and former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis. John Miller, let me start with you. What more are you hearing from your sources about the investigation and about the suspect?
Well, it's becoming a little bit of a clearer picture. So, you know, authorities were clear this was a targeted attack. Chief Carroll from the Washington, D.C. Metro Police called it an ambush. Evan Perez described a video where he comes around the corner, sees the 2 uniformed soldiers, and then approaches his arm extended with a pistol. So we know this was a very deliberate, very chosen attack in terms of this target. What do we know about the individual? We've been trying to dig into that. What we know is that he comes here from Afghanistan. Now, this is a guy who's been living in Washington State, not Washington, D.C., on the other end of the country. He comes here from Afghanistan in the summer of 2021. Remember what that was like. Refugees fleeing Afghanistan, people had to be recommended by U.S. people on one end, vetted on this end by government background checks as far as they could do in Afghanistan, have sponsors and so on. He settled in Washington. He applies for asylum in December of 2024. Now, he goes through another vetting process involving that, and he's approved for asylum in April of this year under the Trump administration. He comes in under the Biden administration. These checks are being done. I remember as a part of the Joint Terrorism Task Force in New York, where we supplied people for that vetting process, it was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of people. They were being kept in military installations. A lot of that vetting had to be done very quickly. I also remember we had to go back afterwards when we found information on certain people and bring them back. In this case, that's all we know about this individual.
But yeah, it turns out when you get your information from Fox News, first and foremost, you arrive at the wrong fucking opinions. Because Fox News literally immediately was like, this is an illegal immigrant.
No, although
it turns out he actually did have legal status, from what I understand. Either CNN is lying or Fox News is lying.
Jonathan Wackrow, we looked at the map. You can see Farragut Square. I mean, this is really just a few blocks from the White House.
2 blocks.
So how does that impact the investigation?
Well, first you have to think about what does the security at the White House look like, even when the president is not there. And it's constantly going to be these rings, these concentric rings of protection that radiate out from the White House. This location was, and because it falls within the proximity and the security zone of the White House, you have a heavy
both
concentration
could be lying, not gonna lie.
uniformed division officers from the United States.
No, both
Secret
could not
Service.
be lying at the same time. That doesn't make any sense. You either have legal status to be in the country or you don't. It's ridiculous.
I believe that the Secret Service is one of the first uniformed officers on scene. And when you see that very dramatic video, you see them doing 2 things. They're trying to maintain scene safety, but they're also in public safety, but they're also trying to address the medical condition at the moment and take somebody into custody. So there's a lot of things going on at the same time. But the fact that additional people were not injured, that the suspect was immediately brought into custody, has to do with that proximity, because you had this surge of...
Man, why do you listen to these moron chatters? None of what is true. The National Guard in D.C. was given orders to carry M17 pistols a couple months ago. You can see the announcement on the Joint Task Force D.C. website. Yet, some of the National Guardsmen, I think, depending on whichever, like, what patrol it is, I don't think they all have guns. But I have directly seen with my own 2 eyes, when I was in D.C., National Guardsmen carrying guns. So I said, I don't believe that chatter. I have literally seen National Guardsmen carrying weapons. I witnessed it with my own 2 eyes. You've seen it on stream, probably.
Differently, having it be targeting National Guard, uniformed National Guard, as opposed to uniformed police officers.
Right. The symbolism here is incredible. Within a couple of blocks of the White House, 2 military personnel targeted by an individual who came from a war-torn country. There's clearly a lot going on here that would send this in the direction of the Joint Terrorism Task Force and really have to take a hard look at that component.
It's always the illegals. Oh, thank God, dude. Thank God you can bust a nut, chatter. You finally got one guy who literally isn't even illegally on U.S. soil, by the way. Insta-banned, but we need to let these hogs in because I need to hear more of them, okay? I think Kaya moved her paw striker with the lightning power that Zeus granted you. Dude, that's so funny, dude. You're so fucking funny. Confident AF, dude. It's funny when a 14-year-old is making that joke. It's not funny when a 35-year-old comes into this chat beating a dead horse or an abused dog in this instance. And why would I want to... Yeah, it's a fucking old-ass meme at this point. Dude, that was freaking fire, though. That was funny. You are confident AF, chatter. You really are. I hope to God you're like 12, please. It's a 2015 account. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You're a whole ass adult. Anyway, as I was repeating to that one other chatter who was like, oh, it's always an illegal. This is the one time. And even then you're wrong because it doesn't seem like the person was even here illegally. How are you going to be wrong even in this moment? Like, it blows my mind. Anyway, but once again, a lot of these guys actually do, like, Republicans do use fast and loose. Like, they are fast and loose with the term illegal because the legal status, one of the guys that, wait, you found the social media profile of one of the guys that was making a dog joke? M. Hud says, one of the dog joke people that got banned earlier, following Mady X Melons, anti-whitewash, blacks taking L's. Nice profile, man. Cool profile, brother. It's not every single one, right? But it usually is. Hunting down dissenters. Gaslight phase. Hunting down dissenters. Do as I say, not as I do. Let me repeat it again. Do as I say, not as I do. Maybe have a dog and it not be part of your persona. If you don't want to fucking question when you're evasive, you're no different than the GOP, then be better yourself. Brother, this dude has been waiting. He has been fucking waiting. This is a dissenter. This is a dissenter. Meds now. Meds right now. Meds right now. If you're saying I'm no different than the GOP and you find yourself in agreement with this fucking person, you really got to get your priorities in order, brother. Holy fuck. This is how it goes, though. This is how it goes. Motherfuckers stay in here for like 40 months, subscribing for 40 months, and then one instance and they flip. This is the negative consequence of this is the other side of the parasocial coin. People become literal fucking lunatics, okay? And it's not like they go away hunting down. Like, you're making it seem like a guy who came in here making a fucking Doctober 7 joke, we hunted him down, when he's using the same username on every single profile. Maybe you just feel kind of embarrassed that these are the guys who are still carrying on this battle, you know? You think that's what it is? You think that's what it could be? So you have to cope and act as though, you know, we're over here we're hunting down chatters. Even this chatter, in 1 second, just from his username, I know his city, fave game, fave teams, and fave food, just from Reddit, get real. Yeah. It's also funny because, like, people literally go from, people get a fraction of the microscopic lens that they put me under, okay? Just a fraction. Like, you don't get, you know, you don't get the entire lens of scrutiny in front of millions of people, and you don't like it. Of misunderstanding while you're in the process of literally doing that yourself. It's just the same usernames because they're 39 years old. It's so easy. It's not that hard. Yeah. Be normal, man. Be fucking normal. Dispatch now, King. Hold on. I want to see a little bit more of the coverage here, and then we'll move on to dispatch.
A targeted shooting. By all accounts, it was an ambush. We yelled a question to the police chief and the mayor as they were walking away from us this afternoon about a possible motive. They did not answer that question.
Oh, fuck. CNN live stream went down. Oop, never mind. It's still back.
Guardsmen are in critical condition tonight. Mayor Muriel Bowser is calling this a targeted shooting. By all accounts, it was an ambush. We yelled a question to the police chief and the mayor.
I started the game. I started dispatch for people tuning in now. I started dispatch yesterday. I did the.
Brian Todd. Working the scene.
I started the first episode and the second episode last night.
Who was in West Palm Beach traveling with the president. What is the president's reaction to the shooting tonight, Kristen?
Look, the president and the White House are watching this very closely. We saw President Trump on Truth Social posting about this, giving details that were not already public at that time, noting that both of these two National Guardsmen had been critically injured. And on top of that, that the suspect had also been injured. And that was the first time we had heard about what had happened to the suspect. We know he's being briefed constantly, and there are a lot of questions within the White House and for President Trump himself on what the motive was. They're still figuring out how this happened, what this looked like logistically. Obviously, we've been piecing it together ourselves through witness accounts as well as video evidence, and that's what the White House and all these federal agencies are doing. But there are still questions as to why exactly this happened. As we know and we've reported, the National Guard has become somewhat of a political flashpoint. Did that have something to do with it? The other questions about this are, was the proximity to the White House something that they were paying attention to? Was that something that was to send some kind of message to the White House or to President Trump? We still don't have the answers to this. But as you can see from the response, it is a full of administration response here, and they have their top people really working on this and communicating with the president. While we won't see him again tonight, we are watching to see if he gives the public any more updates on what he's being briefed about.
And of course, it is important to note the president was not in the White House. He was in Florida, where you are with him tonight. Kristen Holmes, thank you very much. With us now, CNN senior legal analyst and former federal prosecutor Ellie Honig. Ellie, good to see you. Given what we know at this point,
Republican Senator calls on DHS to locate all Afghan nationals. Straight white guys are doing fucking mass shootings almost on a weekly basis. Nobody does a call to literally get every single straight white guy in the United States of America to go through an extra lens of fucking scrutiny. Afghan National does this immediately collective punishment. And there is no way to describe this to people. There's no way to be like, hey, you know, this is fucking crazy, right? Like, you know, this is an insane thing that you are demanding, especially because all of the motherfuckers that are saying this and all the motherfuckers hearing this also agree. They're like, no, that does make sense to me. This mode never left. You know this, even though you were a little younger. Yeah.
Depending on the specifics of this individual's citizenship status and other.
Put Michael down. Sorry, I was reading what M HUD was saying. It's for real. Just Googling their usernames just to confirm I'm not insane. That these people are actually exactly what they suspect they are, and like 90% of the time they are. Yeah. There is the 10%. There is the 10% that, you know, will get swept away by other donkeys. But for the most part, it is exactly what you suspect. It's like a guy who's a dick tone viewer, you know, lolly profile, blacks taking L's account watcher, enjoyer. You know, their entire fucking subreddit history shows that as well. And then the guys who are not like that get very offended when you point it out. Guys who actually did believe the fucking meta will get really pissed off when you point out that like their allies are disgusting. You know, instead of being like, well, maybe I got a little heated here.
Ruled it was unlawful. So what happens next year? Yeah, so the administration has already announced that they will appeal that ruling, which came down 6 days ago from a district court judge in D.C. So that judge.
Stop saying they're in Bangladesh, okay? No, many of those people are fucking American homegrown losers, okay? Calm down. Jesus Christ.
John, really important to keep in mind, the president is in charge of the National Guard in D.C. That's different. In the States, it's always under the governor.
You guys got to stop with that shit. Not every fucking hateful white supremacist is a brown guy. What are you, stupid? Do you not know how Americans operate? No, they're American. They're homegrown American idiots.
Thank you very much for your help.
Thursday morning, CNN is serving a full course celebration.
The X update broke people's brains, I think. Yeah, Donald Trump won. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Donald Trump won the election. Plenty of white people voted for him. The idea that like every single white supremacist account or Defend West account that you see is like Indian is ridiculous. There are a lot, and it is weird, I guess, when you don't factor in the reality that like Twitter revenue, $50 of Twitter revenue is actually pretty fucking solid when you're living in a developing nation, and you don't want to factor in why that actually gets a lot of play on the website, right? It gets a lot of play on the Twitter. It gets a lot of play on Twitter because there's a lot of homegrown racists who demand more defending the West accounts to consume the content of. Okay? And also because Elon Musk is tweaking the fucking algorithm. That's the reason why they're serving this market. But the very fact that they're serving this market implies that there is a market to begin with. There is a market for this kind of white supremacist content. That market primarily is still white Americans. Not, you are 100% right, and people don't realize how much they're pushing an already insanely bad environment online for South Asians, this type of racism that so many people feel comfortable doing because they think no one will defend them, straight up. Yeah, I don't like that. Like, it is a strange phenomena, okay? I understand. It's a strange phenomena when you got an Indian dude with a Twitter profile that is a objectively white supremacist Twitter profile consistently talking about how like Indians need to not come to the West, okay? But that dude is desperate, okay? That dude is desperate for the most part, and the reason why he's doing that is because there's a lot of fucking white dudes in the West that want that. It's crazy. It's like when Nazis cope and assume that like American politicians, my good old white politicians, my good old Christian politicians would never actually defend the Jewish state of Israel if it wasn't for Jewish hypnosis, you know? The fuck? No, dog, they love that shit, okay? They fucking love that shit. It's not blackmail in many circumstances because they also love it. They also love demonstrating unlimited loyalty to the state of Israel. Stop coping. White supremacy is good money because, well, Elon Musk tweaks the algo, but also because there are a lot of fucking white supremacists living around us. Making 17 USD a month by copying and pasting MAGA slop on Twitter Blue accounts does not mean they're motivated to destroy America either. They just want to make some quick money, and it goes a lot further somewhere in poverty. Exactly. Anyway, it's called perverse incentives in economics. And for the record, I'm not, I'm not defending the racism accounts, okay? The racism slop peddlers. I'm not defending it at all. They should stop doing that in general. But just make no mistake, while that is weird, but it's like the more interesting part about it, in my opinion, is the fact that there is a market for it, okay? Sure sounds like you are sus. Yes, I love all of the fucking white supremacist 1776 accounts that are literally in my mentions every day calling for me to be murdered. You're right. I actually love, I think it's totally fine and totally okay and totally cool. You do realize that those guys are up my ass more than they fucking, more than they do anything to you, right? I'm simply stating that while their position is funny because in many instances, they are literally making it more difficult for, people of their same background living in the West and making it impossible for them to ever travel to the fucking West in general, while highlighting white supremacist values. The more interesting part about that is that there are plenty of fucking white supremacists out there who love that shit. You think Own the Libs 1776 was really Charlie Kirk? Yes.